I can't be watching myself and everything all at the same time. It's distracting. Okay, so calling to order our canceling committee meeting for August 15th. And we might as well get right to it. So we have protective services up first. Chief Ford. Or I guess we didn't label which one was fire. Rock, paper, scissors. Chief Forward.
Forward's up.
Okay.
Well, good evening, everybody. I hope this is loud enough.
Yep.
I trust and hope everybody's having a good summer. If you've had vacation, I hope that's gone well for you and your family. Not too much from the Woodstock Police Force tonight. We just wanted to let you know that we are pleased to announce the fact that 2 new hires for the Woodstock Police Force is taking place. We have APA Cadet Zach Collins. Councillor Brown would know all about Cadet Collins. He was with the Sheriff's Department beforehand. He is a phenomenal officer for us, and just don't tell anybody, but it looks like we're going to go to the Atlantic Police Academy on the 25th and offer this badge right down the So we're really excited to have him. Also at the same time, we're bringing in Constable Lorna Dwyer. She's from Summerside PPI, 24 years experience with the Summerside Police Force. And she's from the area, up a little bit north from Woodstock. She's got family here. Very, very excited to get back to this area. So, and again, a very experienced officer. I had an opportunity to sit down with the Summerside Chief of Police a few weeks ago when I was at the Atlantic Chiefs Conference, and he couldn't speak more highly of her. So we're excited to get Lorna. I will confess that she signed her letter of offer about 10 minutes ago. So we were just trying to make sure we got that on time. She's actually working right now. She was off on a call, but our good deputy chief reached out to her. She managed to sign that and send it on. So the information you're hearing is actually accurate. 10 minutes ago it was not, but so Cadet Collins is going to start on or about shortly after graduation, which is the 5th, and we expect that Constable Dwyer to start first evening shift this month. This release our 2 vacancies and brings the police force back up to full complement. Continue to keep mayor and council advised. We are now close to 4 years without a stress-related off leave, and I think that's just speaks of the officers that we have in the community. That's working very well. So I have the following recommendation when you're ready. Be it resolved that Lorna Dwyer and Zach Collins, in accordance with sections 11 sub 1 sub C and 2.1 sub 1 sub A of the New Brunswick Police Act, are hereby appointed as police officers of the Woodstock Police Force. And again, please note that this brings our column. Also, I'll leave that recommendation to the mayor and council. Unless you need anything further from me this time.
Nope, we're prepared to make those resolutions in regular council meeting tonight.
Thank you. And item 2 is just as we always do, we inform mayor and council about our capital submissions updates. So please note that our 2023 capital submission request for a firewall that arrived last week was installed during the week of August the 7th. This replaced and updated our systems protection associated data and record system. I would say for a little while, we were fairly and reasonably concerned about breach of our data. That firewall installation through mayor and council support has allowed us to have that worry no more. Also arriving was our 2023 Mark Police Cruiser. It's a Dodge Durango. It's expected to be operational by the end of August. It would have been in place a little bit sooner, but the company that does our emergency light setup, they've been extraordinarily busy the last number of months. So we're happy to get this in now and should be ready to go tomorrow. Such questions, that's all I have.
Awesome. Anyone have any questions? Yep.
Oh, it's coming very well. Thanks for asking about that. The old door and frame was taken out, the masons were in there, it's quite a job, we saw it the first time, so we know what to expect this time. We expect the door and frame to be manufactured right now, so we're on target. I should say every year that probably within the next 4 to 6 weeks, we should be operational with that, which is going to be, we're flying into 2023. We seem to have not just singular clients coming in, in fact, we even had one of our partners reach out that they were at capacity, so they were in space, so they're going to test it first year. So it's starting to come on, it should be operational.
Okay. Chief McClellan, you're next.
Just thank you. The report was reported July 31st. Woodstock Fire Department responded to 160 calls compared to 172 last year. Total incidents reported to fire incident reporting system. 383 incidents, logging in 5,134 man hours. This does not include all hours that the pump operator is on duty at the hall. This includes fire calls, training teams, fundraisers, volunteer work, department maintenance, equipment check, fire department administration tasks. WFD brand new fleet vehicle. Very excited with the look that we have. So that they all are looking the same. This is a work in progress, and we have one more unit left to do. We also have ordered new emergency lights for unit 1. Our equipment van, the lights are out of date, no parts available, unreliable. Three firefighters completed recently in Summerside PDI and wanted to be pregnant so that we could attend, but due to wedding and other family commitments, they went to the challenge PDI and finished first overall. Two firefighters is done under Woodstock Fire Department for the clear. That is basically my report.
Perfect, thank you. Does anyone have any questions for Chief Harold? Okay, we're moving on to the next one, recreation. Kelly.
Good evening, everybody. I'll just run through my report that you have. First, it might have been last, but it's a rate increase for 2023-24. This is normally done before ice is installed. So it's not done mid-season, so organizations know upfront what the additional costs may look like for their operating season. My rate recommendation for this season is 3%. It will be about $1 increase for drop-ins and those sorts of activities, but I thought I would give the minor hockey 2%, 3%, just to see what that increase looks like for that user who utilizes 771 hours of time. So just for your consideration, I thought that might be helpful to know what that impact looks like on a large user. Pending capital items, safety canopy, truck lift gates, floor machine, roof tie down, lift meter delivery and installation, as well as pool pump installation. Those are still on our list to complete. We'll get those placed by the end of the year. Energy upgrade, I think this has been on our agenda and our report for a bit now. One is still having the field house lighting. The lighting levels have been completed and analyzed, and we at what we're going to do with that current lighting report.
Still waiting on that report. It's been a while, right?
Where we have the report.
You do, okay.
I think there's been Andrew, correct me if I'm wrong, we're waiting on a second party to look at the intended document to see if it was interpreted in the same way.
I'm not sure if I've seen the final report that they're, that's not.
I think there's a question, there seems to be a question on the reading of an interpretation of the tender document.
Okay,
And I'll just give a general,
Yeah.
is that in the tender document, it talked about lighting levels. The interpretation of the engineer is that they thought they only had to meet that lighting level in a particular spot on the floor, not as a full measurement of the floor. So for example, if the lighting level for competitive racquetball was 400, they interpreted it to be 400 in spots, not as an entire surface, which I would suggest that any playing surface has to have consistent lighting levels to be deemed a certain lighting level. So that needs to be discussed and determined what we would like to do on that. System integration, we're still working with ActiveNet, and I know Ryan from Controls and Equipment have been trying to get in, and they've been busy, so it hasn't been a priority, but to get that integration piece completed, so we're not manually turning light or heat on and cooling and doing all those things. The aquatic facility will shut down as planned for the 5th of September. We are not taking the water out this season. We will reduce it and do a proper cleaning. We hope to be back up and operational by September 18th or sooner, depending on what the internal maintenance, painting, and all those regular things we can put on that surface. The new pool pump is arrived and will be installed that week or two that we're down, and that's been confirmed. The outdoor HVAC unit, that was part of the upgrade. As we know, the insulation is falling off it. They did not put a proper drain in that unit. So where all the condensation is making the insulation fall off the unit. It's not under warranty, and the quote on the table is $17,000. I've asked for their whoever to help source the second quote. That is still standing. The ice plant was turned on Friday. Expected first rental August 28th. Daycares are at full capacity at this.
okay. Lots, maybe a few follow-ups there. But anybody have any questions for Kelly on any of those items? I think there will be some follow-up. I would suggest maybe waiting until after our new director of finance starts to do an analysis on whether that's enough of an increase for the, I guess, for any and all, but for what Kelly's recommended. That's a pretty small increase. So we'll evaluate that and hopefully maybe put that on next council's agenda. So we won't have to decide that
Last
tonight.
year's increase was 2%.
Yeah,
Just so we know that 3% is probably low, but certainly need your guys's
Yep.
and financial
Yeah.
determine where we want to be.
So would that be for all services across the board, like just not ice rental, but that would be for all that?
Correct.
So 3% increase?
Round to the dollar.
Can you tell me about the outdoor HVAC unit installed during the upgrade, lots of insulation due to condensation? We're going to be on book possibly 17,000. Is there any way we can go back and people that install that? Or is
I've
that
already attempted to do so, and been notified that it's not available.
So that's basically, even though it seems like they care and judgment in installing it, or?
I think there's I don't know, there's coffin ventilation is the word I've used, where actually allows the condensation to be dealt with internally differently. Where this one doesn't have a drain, which it should, and now the condensation rivers, it has nowhere to go. And so it just building moisture and then the insulation is falling off. My first request was whether it was under warranty.
You know, this was budget's 17,000.
17's a lot.
Yeah.
That's why we're gonna evaluate whether a 2 to 3% increase is enough. Yeah. Anyone else? Okay, thank you, Kelly. Last but not least. Public Works,
Just a little update on the date contract. Nominee process. It's looking like probably 2 weeks time. They don't have to go because the weather like everybody else, so. A week away before, not gonna talk, about 3 weeks. Pretty confident that we hear in a couple of weeks' time, we want to do our name first. Pick off a couple of them, not get everything going. Good for us, we still
Yeah.
want to do on Main Street. But, and, let them know we go back and forth together. Got a date on town square. It's coming. They tried to install a couple catch basins there. They have a little time. They did get a couple. The one that's supposed to drop on the hardware side over to the other side. They're on it to do 24 inch sewer on it, old 24 inch sewer on it. There's no way to like go over it. With the left fiber up on the other side. They went under, didn't have grade, they went over it, turned into fiber on it, so. They had to change direction for that. When they placed it over the end, with a double grade on it, hoping it would sink or not. Catch all the water coming up that big shot. They ended up running it down, and catch a basin afterwards. Very good. And they get like, they jackhammer half of it, and get that one thing on side. Put a sewer line in the wall table every day, so the big is done now, it's just the rest of the other day. Take it off, but the technology is a lot of money. I think that's gonna come a little quicker than what they thought, because we talked to Ryan yesterday afternoon. They're supposed to do third work next Monday. To get hold of the post curb company, and they said it would be next 2 weeks. What to do. And he called back and said, you can have it ready for this Thursday. On Thursday. Yeah, they go, I'm gonna wait for this. They brought a big roller in there, so I said, you're not gonna come back that hour. Really don't think that. Well, it was well.
Yep.
Pretty much the 2 updates on the big paving projects. That's pretty much just like, the asphalt spreader. Half a week trying to get it so it's loaded on that plug. With the water. We're going to take it, we got it so we can get it loaded and everything now, so we're actually something that. Had it paved yesterday and today down on my first street.
Mm.
They'll learn, but we're coming. Did the section. You know the area well as anybody, we did the section by Dave Adams, goes towards out the street, where the speed bump is. Pretty much paved that area there, it's bad shape, so. It's not Dexter yet, but. We'll get there. Get back below that, it's no. We start to have the same thing happen. Spring forward. That's that. It's a little bit better before we get on the road. This was like the least job on that, so Jason do better all the time.
Yeah.
We're Dave, they get some back streets. Not good yet. We'll make it better. Yeah, exactly.
It's given us a lot of attention over where I am.
Yeah.
With sidewalks and roads, valve, don't mind.
Yeah. Valve work, we still got some valve work, so we're gonna be holding up this rod. Companies and others first, and see if they can do a wide path for a shut
Yeah.
off. We haven't got enough control on that Broadway one that shut that, we'll have to shut down Broadway and not the whole road north of it, so. Gonna get a price on it, see what we did. We did a live lab on valve doors before, just not in live on. You can't put a price on that.
Yeah.
You're probably hearing some call, but you guys, get a little $3,400 because every time we open these valves, we have them open for
Yeah.
30 years, 20 years, 40 years. We're breaking more or less magazines up. That's the call where sand or water is really not sand. It's just that all of that going on. Get these valves adjusted. Maybe any questions? Oh, I'll go with crosswalks.
Yes.
Uh,
Thank you.
Most of the crosswalks that are left are the ones we were gonna pay, so
Yeah.
let them be. We do this one down, once we get the paving machine, hopefully next week, down here and do this intersection. Trying to get that intersection there done. And, we just, every other day it rains, or a couple of days,
Yeah.
days it rains.
Yep.
Crosswalk.
Yep.
Where we
Yes.
plan on the school, like, that's the first one we went in for the- and not forced one, or-
Agreed.
Question, yes.
I will note for council when you hear Greg speak about getting a quote for that work around that valve. That wasn't budgeted, but I think we are going to look closely at trying to make sure that there's funding to do that because that needs to be done. It needs to be done in order to advance and continue with other work. So first look, it appears as though there's some cushion in under utility. So we will hopefully, that won't be astronomically out of reach for us because we will push to do that work this year, even though it wasn't something that we budgeted so far, but important to try and do and not hold off. We all know that because if something were to happen, we'd be
Well,
in
you
a
just
big
got
mess.
that
Yeah.
water down, and
Yeah, this, and Greg can speak to this even more, but it will give us greater control and give his team greater control over shutting things down on a smaller level every time over there, so.
when we were doing work on our main, broke one on. There was, against the weather, it was old, and so a lot. And it was water turned, broke on it, so. Now we get another valve, and that's the one we were already broken, so. If we can get this one in, we get the control.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing. I'll find it.
Where on Broadway is that one?
Yeah.
We better know.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and anybody else have any questions, Greg?
Just, was there an update on the tennis courts?
That's next week.
Next, I just saw it on there.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's whited out on everyone else's, I think. Yeah. Next week, I say, the next council meeting, the 29th. Yeah. Yeah, you go ahead now.
Carol, one question. That our reporting system, do you see response times here at all? Like, people on response time or response times are well given? That is the, doesn't print out showing, took us 10 minutes to get to here. No, that's That's, the only thing would be encourage system, must get from other predator. Those response times are on individual issues. All individual dispatch, when the dispatch has to be one, when they arrive on scene. That's on, it's not in the fire marshal reporting system. It's just time all calls.
I just raised that point from an article I was reading further on this week. The fire chief and the sergeant there, they're having a conversation with the council on response times. It's no secret they are looking at, people hauling down the road and stuff like that. That's what they're looking at, was response times to different situations. So something maybe they look at,
Talking to the fire marshal, Mark Cohen, who's our rep comes here. Every time he arrives to investigate the fire, I hand him over the report. He looks at it and says, wow, your response time when you pass the attributes to our drivers being up to the work as soon as they can. Keep down, especially when responding directly to the call. We have a real good response time. All volunteer firefighters.
Yeah, we're not quite apples to apples with Fredericton. I think they would be considered a full-time. Any other questions for anyone before we end this meeting? Okay. So that's it for,
CIC, just go right into regular.
we have Jeff test. Just out of curiosity. We're still on. Jeff, can you just say test?
yes. Yes. Yes.
Okay. Struggling with that corner. We're just first timers with the owl. So when Jeff was talking before, it was focused on Norm. So just know you could always be on camera tonight. So anyway, okay, we can close that one if you want.
I did it like it's when they were together, but if you want, then I can start regular, we can do that too.
Do we want to take a quick break, whatever? Sure. Okay, we're gonna let this roll, but we're gonna take just a 5-minute break in case anybody needs one. That gives these guys the opportunity to escape if they want.